Hello, this is Hooked by Happenstance, and I'm Kendra, and this is Peachlet, my fibery doppelganger. I know y'all love a good Peachlet video, but this is not like the other Peachlet videos. I have been a little under the weather this week, so I didn't get this video out earlier for you, but I'm going to tell you about a new game that Peachlet has come up with to help motivate us all to get some things done. So I know that many of you have watched my Let Peachlet Pick videos and that you find them motivating. I find them extremely motivating. And it's basically a way of gamifying your crafting to help you get things completed. Because if things are fun and kind of fanciful, you are more likely to stick with them. Or at least I am more likely to stick with them. And I assume the same will be at least slightly true for you. So what I have done is mixed a number of Hooked by Happenstance things together and come up with this bingo board. You can get your own free copy of this on my Patreon page. There's a PDF file you can print out. If you go to patreon.com/hookedbyhappenstance, you will find it there. This bingo board, we're going to talk about it in just a second, but what you can do is you can work on your project. Your goal is to get a bingo, which is 5 in a row. When you do that, if you will tag me on Instagram with a picture of your board with your things marked, and also if you want to do those little flippy montages showing you doing each of those things, that would be awesome. Or you can just be posting, if you're somebody who posts a lot of photos of like your works in progress along the way, if you just want to post the end board at the end, that is fine too, because I can just go back in your feed. But if you have completed a bingo, you can either just do it for fun because, well, fun is good. We all like fun. But people also like to be incentivized by getting prizes and things. Well, I am but one person and y'all are many. So what I have come up with is the prize available will be a progress keeper that I am making especially for each month that we do the Let Peachlet Play Bingo. And you can get this by ordering anything out of my online shop. I will include for free the Progress Keeper in with your order. Note, this month's Progress Keeper, I'm not going to show it to you, but it's real cute and it involves owls. So, just putting that out there. So let's walk through the things that are on the bingo board so I can explain them a little to you. First, it is worthy of note that whips are fine. Secondly, your items do not need to be completed unless specifically on the square it says complete them. You just need to make some progress. And like, please make some actual progress, like at least a couple rows, not just like, I put a stitch in. Because do you really feel good working the system like that? Is that really helping you? It's supposed to be a fun way of making progress, not just trying to work a system. So anyways, you know, figure it out. So let's walk through what these things are, and then you can start percolating on how you could fill out your own bingo board. So the first thing we have in the B column is Create by Moonlight. You will notice as we go through this that it is based around words. Why me? Words? Yes, that's based around fall and Halloween themed words for October. So Create by Moonlight, that does not mean you have to create in the dark. I mean, I guess if you wanted to do the ultimate challenge, you could make something with like lace weight, black yarn on a tiny hook in the dark, but don't do that. That's just bad. I mean, basically work late when the moon is out. You know, during Kendra time, the time of day that I do the majority of my crafting. The next thing in the B column is to create something webbed. This is your opportunity to do lacy things, things with eyelets. You know what webs look like. The next thing is to create something purple. That is because purple is not a color preference, it's a lifestyle choice, and so you should always be making something purple. Just, you know, the way I feel about things. The next thing is to make something monstrous in scale. This means something big, whatever big means to you. Because I realize that to some people, big might be making a blanket. Well, honestly, making a blanket is big to anybody. But to other people, it might feel big to make a scarf or make a full whatever. Something monstrous in scale to you. And the final thing in the B column is to make a project that scares you. You know, one of those that you keep putting off because you don't want to deal with it. Maybe there's a whole bunch of ends to weave in. Maybe it's just something that you're just, I don't know. You know those projects? I know which one I'm going to work on. The one that just can't get done for whatever reason or many reasons, they're scary. Pick one up and get some work done on it. Next, we move on to the I column. The first thing is to fall in love with a project and share it. So work on something you enjoy and then post it to Instagram. Or it's not only good for your yarny peoples to see it. If you interact with people from your personal life in some way, it is also good to share these things with them, because how do people know you do the things you do if you never show them, right? Right. The next thing is to create something autumnal, whatever that means to you. Is it pumpkins? Is it just that it's orange or rust? Or is it something for your Thanksgiving table or your home during autumn, or for you to wear when it's cold? You figure that out, but whatever is autumnal to you. The next thing is to create while watching Makes Monday. So sit down, watch one of my Makes Monday videos, and craft along with me. It does not have to be one of the current ones. It can be one of the past ones, but just sit down, spend a little time, and you can kind of pick whether you want a long one or a short one for what you're doing. The next thing in the I column is to freak or frog a thing. You all know how it goes. Go in, pick a whip or something that's in that pile of let's pretend they don't exist, and decide if you're going to freak out about it and actually get it done, or if you're going to frog it and then do that thing. Freak out about it and start working on it very shortly thereafter, or frog it immediately. Because once you've made that decision to frog, you just got to do it. It's like pulling off a Band-Aid many times over. Yep, it's a very similar motion. And finally, the last thing in the I column is to make something that is cute as a pumpkin. So, again, that one's up to interpretation for you. Now we move on to the end column. First thing in the end column is to Sunday sunrise yourself a tiny list with a big marker. That means make some goals for a week. Pick a few things you're going to focus your attention on and then follow through on them. Remember, your Sunday sunrise lists do not have to necessarily be completed. They are just areas to focus your attention on. So don't beat yourself up if you don't finish everything on that list. Just remember that with a Sunday sunrise list, you don't have to finish every item on the list. What you need to be doing is making progress toward finishing it, or using those as areas of focus. Basically, it is a way of organizing your thoughts on projects, but don't beat yourself up, because that is counterproductive. The next thing on the end column is to let Peachlet pick your color scheme. I intend to post several Let Peachlet Pick videos this month. Basically, you can take a peek at what drawer she picks for me in a video, and then go find something in a similar color scheme. Since basically things come up in, well, with my acrylics, they come up in certain colors. Or it might be that if she has me pick up my cotton drawer, that you would make something out of like dishcloth cotton, that sort of thing. Just kind of take whatever thing Peachlet picks in a video and pretend she picked it for you, and go find something in your stash that is similar. And then in the middle we have a free space. This space is such a good deal. Who can resist it? We all like things that are free. The next thing in the end column is to go back to school and use a new stitcher technique. This one I assume would mean you would start a new project, that it would not be picking something up, unless you have recently started something that is a new to you technique. But like, if you've already gotten halfway through a blanket that was new to you, is it still a new technique? No. You now know how to do it, so that's how that works. And the last thing in the end column is to quiet a howling half-done project by finishing it. We all have those things that are hanging around that are partially done, that we see out of the corner of our eye, sitting in the heap on the top of the thing. We see it when we grab something else, and it's always like, hey, all I need for you to do is weave my ends in. Or, hey, all you have to do is sew these squares together. Or, hey, you're almost done. Finish up that project so it will quit yapping at you. Projects shouldn't talk. That's what I think. That's why Peachlet doesn't have a mouth. Okay. On to the G column. Create where the muggles can see you. That would mean to take your crafting out in public, basically. Because that's how people find out about these great things that we do. If you don't show yarn in public, people don't know it exists. They think it's something that people aren't doing anymore. And it's kind of our job to change that. Especially good if you're crafting where children can see you, because they are just fascinated, and they're the ones that are going to continue to do the things. Next up is to Frankenstein something from scraps. I enjoyed scrap timbers so much that I think that we should just continue right along with our scraps, because I'm guessing that none of you finished up every scrap you own during Scraptember. I'm assuming. And if you're finishing all these other projects, there's probably scraps being created as we speak. So that is the next thing. Next, ghost a project and stop something that's not bringing you joy. If you're working on something and you are not feeling it, stop working on it. You can take this multiple ways. You can ghost it, like just leave it. You can decide to frog it. You can get rid of it. You could put it in the naughty corner to be dealt with in a freaker frogger. Or you could just step away for a moment and be like, no, we need time apart because you are not doing me any good. And then maybe later in the month you'll pick it back up. But just like, you don't have to say anything to it. You don't have to explain. Just be done with it. The next thing is to go foraging in your stash and use a well-aged yarn. Pick something that's been lingering in there, something you know, potentially something you're hoarding, like you're just sitting on because it's just too pretty. Well, you deserve pretty things. Use the yarn. The next thing in the G column is to prepare for a hair-raising experience by making a hat. I think that's pretty straightforward. We all know what hats are. They go on our heads. The next thing in the O column is to spend a blustery day wrapped in something handmade. Now, I recognize that many of you may not live places that ever actually get blustery, being like cold and windy and such, but wear something handmade on a day that is fall, whatever weather that is for you. But if you do live somewhere where it is blustery, the better. Okay, the next thing in the O column is to drink something cozy while you create. We all like to have a nice warm beverage. Maybe hunker down with a cup of tea, coffee, cocoa, whatever feels cozy. Perhaps ice water is just your jam and you feel so good when you cozy up with your ice water. I guess if you live somewhere where it doesn't get blustery, that might be your preference. But find something cozy up with it, and create something. The next thing in the O column is to trick yourself into completing a chore before crafting. Basically, dangle that little yarny carrot in front of yourself and know that if you finish whatever chore you set out for yourself, that you can then craft. It's a good way to get one productive, non-craft related thing done this whole month. Well, that'd be great. I guess that is if you choose to use that one. Obviously, you don't have to do all of these things. The next thing in the O column is to believe in yourself and try a new pattern or technique. So again, trying something new. Try a pattern you've never done before or pick a new technique. And then the last one is to treat yourself by making a personal project. Do something that's for you because you deserve it. Now remember, you are not trying to get a blackout. You're not trying to do everything on the list. Obviously, you could, but that's 25 items and that might prove difficult. Your items can count for more than one thing, so you could make something purple that's giant and something else if you wanted. If you can justify it, I'm okay with it. But remember, the goal is to be getting things done, not to be working the system. So think of it however it helps motivate you the best, because it's meant to be a motivational tool for all of us to find a fun way of making things happen. So I'll remind you once more that you can get your Let Peachlet Play bingo board on the Patreon at patreon.com/HookedByHappenstance. There's always a link in the description box down below. And your reward, if you choose to accept it, is a progress keeper, which I am making especially for the month, which can be redeemed from any time that you finish your bingo board through any purchase made by the 15th of November in my online shop, shop.hookedbyhappenstance.com. Just the easiest way for me to distribute things to everybody. If you have questions, let me know, but I think that kind of covered everything. I bet that people are going to ask me, I don't have Instagram, how can I get the things to you? If you are a patron of mine, I am totally cool accepting things through email. But if you are not a patron, then you can just play for fun, and that is fine. Just easier to have everything in one place for me. So right now, everything on Instagram except for patrons, you can feel free to email me. That is how that will work. I think that covers everything about how the rules of this game go. Again, it's primarily just for fun. I just thought it would be a nice way to kind of mix things up as we go into the fall season. Seasons are changing. Maybe our habits can change too, and we can try and Try and get more stuff accomplished. Maybe you're already getting things accomplished, and this will show you that is true, because you'll just be like, check, check, check. Bingo. Let me know. I'm looking forward to seeing what y'all are working on Instagram. Again, I'm at HookedByHappenstance over there, and I will see you all later. Bye.